Okay, everybody, good evening. Welcome to Armstrong Sports. You are watching the girls high school varsity soccer. We are watching some Lady Panthers and Lady Dragons. The Chesapeake Lady Panthers will be hosting the Fairland Lady Dragons, and we're about ready to get underway. My name is Jason Stevens, and you are watching high school soccer on Armstrong Sports. Beautiful late August, late summer evening here in Chesapeake along the 4-lane of Route 7 and by the river. Looking at the weather, you're about 78 degrees here at game time, wispy clouds in the sky, and actually a beautiful night for any kind of activity, and I hope you are able to enjoy our game tonight. We just had a boys game just a few minutes ago that just concluded. The Dragons were able to beat the Panthers on a 1-0 score, but it was, if you can imagine, closer than that. The Panthers had some opportunities there late in the game, but weren't able to capitalize to tie the game up and possibly even go ahead. A couple of breaks go their way, but the Dragons were able to hold on and get that victory, and now we're going to watch the girls play. And it's just about dusk here in Chesapeake. Apparently all the girls have gotten their homework finished, so because they weren't in a hurry to get started to go anywhere. And we're underway. I am going to do my best to find the names and the numbers and match for everybody as they are touching the ball. A lot of these kids I have coached at one point or another, and they were just babies. Now they're all grown up just about, and playing on the big field here tonight. All right, the girls, just like the boys, they play 40-minute halves, 10 minutes in between at halftime. And we're just a minute in as Kylie Johnson's able to throw a nice shot from outside the box. Olivia Hastings is ready as the goalie for the Lady Dragons in the red shirt. Punts it out. Both teams kind of feeling each other out here at the beginning of the game. Ball's kind of bounced around on either side. It's going to be a Chesapeake throw in. We're just a minute and a half in. Just a little over a minute and a half into the game. We've got a couple of sisters on each team. Let's see. I'll be darned if they don't have the same numbers. One of them is number 6, and that's the Dragons' number 6, Tori Hall. Make sure I get the right first name. Number 6, Tori Hall for the Lady Dragons. Number 9 is Lexi Hall for the Lady Dragons. On the Panthers, you've got Kelsey Hegemeyer, who is a sophomore. And then you have Natalie, and she's number 6. And then Natalie Hegemeyer is number 9, who is a freshman. Both starting for both teams. I think that's part of these two communities. You know, you got a lot of families on both sides, and some are new families, and some families have been around a long time. But either way, when you put on green or purple, you're on that family. So anyway, the Panthers and the Dragons are going back and forth here as Tori Hall going up the left side. And see her sister shooting through there. Also there in the front is number 3 for the Dragons. That's Erin Hayden. Number 10 is Reese Chafin. Number 7 is Nina Miller there on offense. Also, you can probably see number 15, Julia White, staying out there as it's going to be a corner kick for the Lady Dragons. Tori out there ready to kick this in. In goal for the Dragons is Maddie McKee. Ball's kicked out of bounds as Maddie will put the ball down and kick it from the goal box. Don't know if you can see it from the TV screen, but there is a 6-yard box there, about 6 yards out from the edge of the end zone, and that's the box that the soccer players can see down there on the field, and that's where you kick those goal kicks from. Out there on defense for Chesapeake, I'll try to go by the numbers here. We've got Becky Canaday, Rebecca. She's number 3. She's a senior captain. I mentioned Natalie Hegemeyer out there, number 9. Also see Sheridan Collins, number 8, out there on the defense. Becky Canaday bringing it back up the right side for the Panthers, up to Kylie Johnson. Kylie, number 14, she's a senior as well. And her sister, shoot, I forgot about the Johnson sisters. There's Kenzie Johnson, number 11, also in there. So we got 3 sets of sisters that I know of that have gone through the rosters. That's a Kearns going there. There's 2 Kearnses on this roster too, so there's 3 sets of sisters. That was Alexis Kearns. Her sister Olivia Kearns playing for the Panthers as well. Alexis number 21, Olivia number 12. So I will go ahead and apologize in advance to all moms, dads, parents, sisters if I get the names backwards for some of these sisters. I didn't realize there was that many of these girls there. That's amazing. All right. There's probably another batch of them in there I haven't paid attention to yet. So anyway, I know Brenna Price has a lot of sisters. I don't think she has any sisters on the team right now, though. So anyway, we are here having a good time. It's Chesapeake and Fairland girls soccer. Trying to get all the girls introduced who are out there on the field at this time. I think I've got most of the defense for Chesapeake. Most of the offense. I got Olivia Kearns. And then, of course, Erica Moss. Or shoot, Leah Moss. Erica's her mom. Erica's sitting in here beside me. Sorry, Erica. See, I knew I'd messed that up anyway. Leah Moss is number 13 out there for the Lady Panthers on offense. On defense for the Lady Dragons. Let's see if I can see the numbers. We got number 12. Carson Bailey, of course, Olivia Hastings is there in goal. Emily Browning is number 19. Maddie Arthur is number 20. Midfielders are Nina Miller, Julia White, Reese Chafin. And right fullback is Sierra Brown. I didn't get Sierra mentioned, so. Sierra Brown there getting ready to kick the goal kick. Trying to keep my voice up. We got another 73 minutes to keep the voice going, so. Sierra Brown with the kick. Alexis Kearns tries to keep it in. There is Jenna Taylor. Jenna, number 5, playing for the Panthers. I did announce her name earlier. She's got a sister, but she's already graduated. So a lot of sisters like to play soccer. We've got 3 sets of them on the team for Chesapeake, which makes it fun. I know when Sawyer and Wesley played soccer, it was fun to watch them play together. Tori Hall takes the ball down, crosses it back to the middle, tries to get it over to her sister Lexi, but broken up by Rebecca Canaday. Becky is a 4-year starter for the Lady Panthers. And in defense, one of the toughest defenders around, always around the ball, has a real good nose for the ball. Nice crowd out here tonight. Beautiful night. The weather's great. Got a good student section. Some kids from both schools are here. And lots of parents. A lot of people standing around the field. Watch the boys' game, stay and watch the girls' game. It's a beautiful night. Nothing better to do on a Tuesday night in Chesapeake other than come watch some kids run up and down the field. And they're doing it. A couple of threats from both schools, but nothing too dramatic as Moss and Maddie Arthur fighting for the ball back there. But shoot, that was 30 seconds ago. The ball's already moved around. Looks like a Hegemeyer going up to the right side. Crosses it across the middle, but goalie Olivia Hastings is there for the Lady Dragons to pick it up. Foul called on the Panthers. Be a free kick somewhere. Where's the ball? Sierra Brown will put it at the 45-yard line and give it a boot. Fairland throw in. Emily Browning with the ball at the center, challenged by Kylie Johnson from Chesapeake. Obligatory horn being blown by passers-by. A little penalty called there. It'll be a free kick for the Panthers. As the teams not only feeling each other out, trying to see what they can get away with, and the referees establishing what is okay as far as contact and what is not. Of course, in soccer, there's a lot more contact than you might imagine, especially when the girls get fired up. It can be a very high contact sport. And contact is not illegal in soccer. In fact, shoulder to shoulder, challenging for the ball. Even if you challenge for the ball, if you're the defender and you hit the ball first and you happen to run over the other player, if you've hit that ball, it is not a penalty to run into them. So you can see some pretty good collisions. Now, what is a penalty is if you go in and play the ball but do not get the ball and hit the player, then that's when you'll call a penalty. Or if there's just out and out recklessness. Sometimes you just don't see another player coming and whatnot. As Panthers defense gets a little sloppy there and tried to settle the ball and get out, but it's called a goal kick. I'm not sure exactly how, but anyway, I thought that was a corner kick. It's the second time I've been wrong today. But the referee's a lot closer than we are, so what are you going to do? Maddie McKee from behind the goal. Oh, goodness. That was a collision there between, who was it? I think that was one of the Hall girls. Not sure which one. Is that Tori or Lexi? I don't know. Anyway, it was one of the Hall girls and the Collins girls. Sheridan, one of three girls as well. So a lot of these girls have a lot of sisters like to play soccer. It's interesting. I just never really thought of it before, but Sheridan's sister Grayson played here. Chesapeake a few years ago. Well, we're about let's see, what are we? About 12 minutes into this game. Not quite a quarter of the way in, and although both teams have had a couple of chances to score, there hasn't been it's really been a back and forth. Haven't seen, real dominating, one side dominating the other. Both sides have kind of had their opportunities and, of course, made a couple of mistakes and whatnot. I anticipate this being a close game as we get through the end of this quarter, although this ball's going over there to, it's number 6. That's Lexi Hall. Shoot, no, it isn't. It's Tori Hall. Tori with the right leg, and Maddie McKee in the goal for the Panthers is able to pick that ball up and scoop it. Maddie, a sophomore, second-year starter, in goal for the Lady Panthers. Spends a lot of time playing goalie. Actually, I was able to coach Maddie when she was just a little kid, and I said, you know what, you ought to try to play goalie. She looked at me like I was crazy at the time, I remember. She really did, and now I don't think you could take her out of that soccer goal. She absolutely loves it, so it's fun to watch these kids take on a challenge and learn to gain some skills and confidence and whatnot. But anyway, we got the ball bouncing back and forth out there in the middle of the field. You guys can see what's going on as good as I can. And I'm not sure whose ball it is throwing it in. So, anyway, we're having fun. Oh, that was a collision. That was between Sheridan Collins and I don't remember which. Let's see who that was. Was that number 19? I believe that was 19. That's Emily Browning. Took the brunt of that. It'll be a penalty kick. No, I'm sorry, a free kick from about the 30-yard line. But you have to remember that's really the 40-yard line. These goals on the football field are at the end of the end zone, so there's an extra 10 yards. So we play the football and soccer all on the same field. And as Fairland gets a shot on. Oh, man. Who was that? I believe that was number 3. One of the captains. That's Erin Hayden. She's a junior. Just about got it in. Maddie McKee had the post covered, but I thought it might have slipped in there. But either way, that was a great play. That was exciting on both sides there as Panthers tried to clear it. Lexi Hall there putting pressure on, but Becky Kennedy able to get rid of it. And comes Hagemeyer. Back to Browning. Browning tries to kick it back into the zone. It's starting to see the pace pick up just a hair after that shot as Hall and Collins going for the ball. Blocks off, and McKee, the goalie, able to grab it. She'll put a big punt on it and change the direction of this. Notice the pace of the game picking up here in the last 30 to 45 seconds after that big shot there by the junior Erin Hayden on goal, or just off the curve. So Emily Johnson looks like a couple of substitutes have come in and I wasn't paying attention. So that's Emily Johnson in for Chesapeake as Kylie Johnson. No immediate relation. I know they're not sisters. They might be related. But anyway, we're going back the other direction now. That's number 7, Nina Miller. Oh, we got trouble here. Oh, a big collision. I don't know who hit who. The ball's still loose. Ball is still live. Maddie McKee fighting for it for the Panthers. Tori Hall fighting for it for the Dragons, and a bunch of other folks in there. And it's going to be a corner kick as the result of that. I don't know how that didn't go in the goal somehow. Ball bounced around. I couldn't even really tell who was kicking it. It was green and white, or green and white and white and purple. Way to really notice around their feet, if you'll notice, the soccer teams never wear the same color socks. One will always wear a white or a bright color and the other with a dark. So here Fairland with the green and Chesapeake with the white socks for the home. That ball is centered in. Hall with the kick. Nice little left spin move for Tori Hall, the junior Hall. Lexi Hall is the freshman. She's number 9. Tori is number 6. Putting a little pressure on. The pace has really picked up here the last couple of minutes. Fairland with a couple of good scoring chances, putting the pressure on the Chesapeake defense. Ball staying on the east side of the field. Center. Trouble. That's trouble is that ball's lingering around. Nobody's really in control of it, but it's dancing around in a dangerous spot. Ball switches out. Hall with the kick. Hagemeyer trying to clear it. Clears it to the middle. Hall back out there on the left wing. Fighting for it. This is trouble. That's the other Hall. That's Lexi. I got him right. barely get my own kids sorted, much less somebody else's kids out there that look the same. But anyway, there goes Lexi Hall. She's trying to put some more pressure on there. And if I can get Kelsey and Natalie Hegemeyer situated here. I think that's number 6. That's Kelsey over there on the defensive side. All centered again. The Dragons, late Dragons starting to put a lot more pressure here as of late. A lot more pressure. Oh, man, that was a tough fall. She slipped over the ball or what happened there, but this is Kylie Johnson moving the ball up the other side of the field over to Alexis Kearns. Alexis bringing it down the right side. Broken up by number 12. That's Carson Bailey for the Lady Dragons. Kicks the ball out of bounds, lets the Dragons set their defense. Panthers are starting to threaten a little bit. They haven't had a shot on goal here in the last few minutes. And it'll be a corner kick for Chesapeake. We've got just under 19 minutes, so we're in the second half of the first half. So we're in the first half, second quarter, if you will. There's no quarters here in Chesapeake, or in Chesapeake, in soccer. As now we spent a few minutes back here on the other side of the field with the Lady Dragons threatening, not able to crack through and put the ball in the back of the net. Now the Panthers are taking their turn, and we have a little weird throw. Ball's getting a little damp. Maybe the dews come in, and Natalie Hegemeyer with the throw in. Just didn't go right. So now the Dragons will throw it in. Jenna with a kick into the middle. There's Leah. Again, I'm going by first names. I used to coach a lot of these girls, so I get to the first name. That's Taylor DeMoss, by the way. Got a substitute. Here comes Price back in for the Panthers. He's coming in for Natalie Hegemeyer. Bree. We'll call her Bree. I always messed her name up and I never can get it right, so she's Bree tonight. We're going to call her Bree. All right, and here come the Lady Panthers. Trying to kick it. Nina Miller with the defense there for the Dragons. Ball stayed in. Bree Price able to keep that ball in. Player can be out of bounds. It's the ball in soccer, so you can stand out of bounds all day long as the ball doesn't go all the way across the line. Even if it touches the line, it's still in bounds. The ball in soccer has to go all the way across the line for it to be considered out. And that one went all the way across the line. It'll be another Dragons throw in. Sierra Brown on the throw in. Julia White throws it back in there. Panthers pick it back up. Jenna Taylor kicks it back across, and then we're kicking it back and forth again. Ball's headed by Johnson. It's Kylie. No, it wasn't Kylie. Shoot. Kenzie. Mackenzie Johnson. Ball's kicked in. Manny McKee comes in and grabs it. That was kind of a dangerous bounce. It just kind of lazily bounced up, and Lexi Hall was real aggressive there. And not that Manny McKee wasn't. It was just one of those balls that just seemed to hang in the air forever. Now, Tori Hall, center of the field, kind of quarterback here is Nina. Takes a shot. Why not? Nina Miller. Nice flag there. Manny pulled the ball, keeping it a little steady as we kick the ball out there, and Fairland tries to keep it in there. The good half of the field for the Dragons. Kylie Johnson tries to get it up to Alexis Kearns. Ball is kicked away, but here we go. Here comes Sheridan Collins. This is in action here. Leah Moss with the ball in the center. Defended by a couple of Dragons, and just barely off the toe of Emily Johnson. Again, the score is 0-0. You're watching high school girls soccer on Armstrong Cable. My name is Jason Stevens, watching this game along with you, sitting up here in the press box, just talking about what we see. And 0-0, about 15 minutes to go in the first half. It is the Fairland Lady Dragons against the Chesapeake Lady Panthers. Of course, the Dragons in green, the Panthers in purple and white with the white shirts. And I believe we had a Kearns check in. That's number 12. That's Olivia Kearns, number 12, checking in for the Panthers. And Kylie Johnson in the middle tries to get over to Olivia's sister, Alexis Kearns, over on the right wing. And Alexis now gets control of the ball. Alexis taking it back to Kylie Johnson. Johnson with the center. Got a foot on it there. I believe that was Natalie Hegemeyer. Can't remember which one. Or Kelsey. I believe that was Kelsey. Sometimes the ponytail gets in the way of the number, and you can't tell exactly what number it is. You just have to go on how they run. Some of these kids I've watched run around since they were 8 or 9 years old. I can know who it is. But the sisters make it tough to distinguish. Okay, here we go. We're going back and forth again. You know, one of the things that makes it fun, too, is sometimes you see these kids, and not only do they know each other, a lot of them actually go to church together, and you know, some of the best rivalries that I've seen, you know, you always want to beat your buddies or whatever, but it was always when the boys are going to church together, or the girls going to church together, you know, Sunday morning rivalry, who beat who. It's always fun to watch. So anyway, it's always fun. Fairland, Chesapeake, regardless of the age, regardless of the sport, always maximum effort given on both sides, and you're seeing that here tonight. We got no score. Both defenses playing pretty tough. Fairland's had a couple of more opportunities than Chesapeake. Chesapeake had a couple of opportunities early. Nothing like Fairland's had. Fairland's had a couple of good chances, but not able to put a goal in there. Manny McKee's played an excellent game for the Panthers in goal. Is now, that's Natalie Hegemeyer checking back in. She's checking in for Kylie Johnson. That's a freshman for a senior. Kinsey Johnson comes back up, gets it back up to Jenna. Jenna is a senior as well. A lot of these. There's Bree Price, steals the ball away from. He's dragging over to Emily Johnson. Ball in the center. This is trouble. Oh, and it's kicked off. I believe it bounced off of a Dragon. I don't know if they'll call a goal kick or a corner kick. It definitely bounced off of number 15 there, Julia White. Referee calls a goal kick. That's what it is. Sarah Brown with a nice kick. She's got a nice leg. She seemed to consistently kick the penalty or the free kicks and the goal kicks. My goodness. She's getting it 30 yards in the air, 34 yards in the air, which is a nice kick with a lot of time under it. So anyway, we're about under 12 minutes here in this first half. No score. Starting to get well past dusk now. Not totally dark, but it's a good thing we have the lights on. Oh, goodness gracious. That looked like a foul. And that's what they called. So it'll be a free kick for the Lady Panthers. Becky Kennedy back to kick it. Both of these teams have really tried to pass, but the defense on both sides have been pretty quick, pretty aggressive, trying to anticipate those, and you haven't seen much more than 2 or 3 passes put together by either side, and we got another substitute coming in for Chesapeake. That's Josie Pfizer checking in. I'm checking in for Bree Price. Just like that, Josie gets a touch. In. Okay, and there is a penalty called on Chesapeake as Tori Hall leans back and tries to punch it in the goal real quick. You don't have a time limit when you have a free kick like that. As soon as it's set, you're on the offense, you're allowed to kick it. Sometimes you'll see a team just sit back and wait and set up a play, and then sometimes you'll see somebody just punch at it just like Tori did. Either way, it can be effective. If it goes in a goal, it don't count how, it's about how many. As long as you don't use your hands. All right, that ball harmlessly bounces in. Maddie McKee, very alert goalkeeper, able to jump in and scoop that ball up. Taps a little punt out there. Number 10 for Fairland, that's Reese Chafin out there battling with a couple of Panthers. Taylor there in midfield, able to kick it up, tries to get a through ball up to Emily Johnson. And we get Alexis Kearns over there as well. Alexis can fly, she's fast. Number 20, Maddie Arthur there for Fairland, breaking up the rhythm of the Panthers. Kylie Johnson checks back in for Chesapeake, this time in for Alexis Kearns. Kylie will probably go over and play that right striker position. Both of these schools starting a girls program whenever they started soccer a few years ago. Chesapeake back in 2010. This would make 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. The 8th season, actually. Wow. The 8th season for soccer here at Chesapeake. And Fairland started about 4 or 5 years ago. I don't know. Do you remember what year that was? I don't remember what year that was. It was at least 4, if not 5 years ago. And when they did, both teams started a girls team. And you see, as you look, you know, there's probably there's 11 players out there on the field and probably 7 or 8 on the bench. So you see about 20 girls from both schools playing a sport they seem to enjoy. That it's been really good to watch. A couple of the other OVC schools do have soccer, but they have co-ed. And the girls and the boys actually play together. They have a couple of girls on the team there at Gaia Academy, which is, you know, this is their 2nd or 3rd year in the OVC. But that's just a boys team. They do have girls who play on the boys team, but they do not have a girls only team. And a little collision there. What we got? We got a player down. That's number 10. That's Reese. Reese Chafin's kind of down, got a wobbly. She's all right. I don't know what the referee, did he call a penalty or did he just stop play? He's called a penalty. All right, so it'll be a free kick. Rough play there. Tori Hall lining up also with Reese Chafin. Reese makes the fake. Tori with the left foot puts it on goal. Maddie McKee catches it, but it bounces out of her hands. Can't tell who touched it last. It's going to be a Fairland throw-in down deep near the Panther goal. I guess that's how you'd call it. Anyway, Fairland's about to score. Ball's kicked up. Emily Johnson got to wait for it. Number 20, Maddie Arthur, went to the ball there. Sierra Brown with a nice stop there. Sends the ball the other direction. Becky Kennedy. Kick it. Natalie Hagemeyer with the punches it out of bounds. Anyway, let's see how this goes here. We've got about 6 minutes to go in this half. It's going to be a Fairland throw in. A little confusion there. Sometimes the referee may point his hand, but he's not real vocal. And the kids don't really look at the referee all the time. They're looking to put the ball back in play, and sometimes that's the reason for the confusion. Not trying to be ornery or anything. They're just trying to play ball. All right, Manny McKee gets it. She'll punt it away here. And back to what I was saying about the girls soccer programs in the Ohio Valley Conference. South Point, up until a few years ago, they had a co-ed team, and now they have both a girls and a boys team, and they have ample participation. I'm not sure their exact numbers this year. South Point's had a boys program for many, many years, and just the last, I think, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, maybe when Fairland added their girls team. I'm not sure when it was, but anyway, there is a all-girls South Point team. Gallia Academy has soccer, but it is a co-ed, and then Rock Hill added soccer last year. As we're seeing Kylie Johnson take the ball up to the right with a nice, beautiful cross there. But to no avail. That ball is going to be kicked out by the Fairland Dragon defense, and Tori Hall gets it to kick it back the other direction. Becky Kennedy chases that ball down, and again, you see the effect of the turf. That ball moves fast. You know, it doesn't slow down when it bounces like it does a lot of times in grass, especially this time of night. You know, the grass will get wet, ball gets a little slower, field gets a little less sure-footed. Sure, they don't see that in this with this turf surface, but anyway, so Rock Hill started a team as Alexis Kearns checks back in. Rock Hill started a team last year, was their first official team, and theirs is a co-ed team. They had a very good boys team, believe it or not. They have a couple of students who have, a couple of brothers, I believe. I'm not sure what country they're from, but anyway, they're students at Rock Hill, and they're very good soccer players. So anyway, they've made a big difference out there. So it's great to see Rock Hill with those facilities be able to have soccer. But there's only 3 all-girls teams in the OVC. Now there are several girls teams. Obviously, you have Huntington St. Joe and all the big schools over in West Virginia, and some of the other schools here in Southern Ohio do have girls teams. So I don't know if we have a schedule. If we have a girls schedule, more handy. But they'll play 14, 15 ball games. And of course, South Point, Chesapeake, and Fairland all play each other a couple of times, home and home. It makes for a lot of fun. You know, your other teams in the OVC are Portsmouth, which does not have a soccer program, Colgrove, which does not have a soccer program, and Ironton. None of those schools. Now, Ironton St. Joe does. A lot of the kids who want to play soccer will play there at Ironton St. Joe. They used to have a girls team. I'm not sure if they have a girls team this year or not. They had a pretty good girls team there a couple of years ago. So. But anyway, it's fun to watch these girls get out here and play hard. You can see how hard they're playing. There's been a lot of contact and a lot of want to on display. We still haven't had a goal yet. There's been some close calls. Fairland's probably had more possession time than Chesapeake, as Tori Hall gets another shot out there, not quite on goal, as Maddie McKee lets that one go out of bounds, and she'll kick a goal kick from her end of the field. Now we're really starting to get dark now. The sky's getting darker. We drop under the 2-minute mark. We've got no score here. You are watching Armstrong Sports, high school girls varsity soccer. My name is Jason Stevens. You're watching the Fairland Lady Dragons in the green visit the Chesapeake Lady Panthers in the white and purple. Here on a beautiful August evening, 75 degrees out, no stink bugs. You hear the crickets and the frogs starting to chirp a little bit in the back. Girls out here trying to Kick the ball in the net. We got a penalty on the Panthers, and the Dragons will take a free kick. We're almost to halftime. Our score is 0-0. We have just about a minute to play. Hit the 1 minute mark now and throw it in again. Both teams trying to get a little quick goal here before the end of the half. Give them a lot of momentum. Could make the difference in the ball game. You just never know when you might catch a break. Penalty called, about 30 seconds to go. As Jenna Taylor will kick the ball in. That was across the field. Kylie Johnson, closest Panther to it. 20 seconds to go. Johnson down in the corner. Batted away by Maddie Arthur. Maddie's able to clear it out. Trying to get out to Tori Hall. Emily Browning kicks it on down. That'll probably be about it for the end of the first half, and that's it. That's the end of the first half with your score: Fairland 0, Chesapeake 0 here on Armstrong Sports. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Chesapeake High School. You are watching Armstrong Sports. My name is Jason Stevens, and you are watching the Chesapeake Lady Panthers and the Fairland Lady Dragons play a soccer match here on a beautiful summer evening. And we've got a score of 0-0, a hard-fought first half. Nobody was able to put the ball in the back of the net. Fairland had a few opportunities. Maddie McKee playing a great first half in goal for the Chesapeake Lady Panthers. Panthers had a few chances. Not quite the opportunities that the Lady Dragons did, but either way, the score is 0-0. And we'll switch sides and go the other direction and see what happens here in the last 40 minutes. Here in high school soccer, you play 40 minutes, a half. The clock actually stops for goals and injured players, unlike the international game. And when it's zeros on the clock, that's the end of the game. So we got about a half an hour, 10 minutes or so of action. Hope you're enjoying watching it. Don't know how much time Mr. Doug put on the halftime clock, but halftime was about 10 minutes. Sky good and dark now. It's about 20 minutes till 9 o'clock here on a Tuesday night. I'm not sure when you're watching this game, but it's 8:40 in the evening. The lights are bright. Feels good outside. A little breeze, probably about, let's see. I'll just check my phone and see how cold it is. 73 degrees right now. Just a nice little summer breeze. You can sit outside in short sleeves or a jacket, either one, whatever. Like there, and the ball goes off the head of Alexis Kearns. Carson Bailey trying to clear it. Alexis coming in fast and took one right off the noggin. Shaking up just a little bit. She's a little slow to move around, but I think it's hit her nose, maybe in the mouth. Anyway, Alexis still out there. Ball back and forth. First half started out relatively slow. Each team kind of feeling each other's speed and skill out, and then they tried to see what the referees were going to allow to call, and they kind of figured that out. Took a couple fouls, but nothing too dramatic, just from some aggressive play. Although here we go, that's going to be a foul. Sheridan Collins coming in there. If she touches the ball before she runs into that was number 3. I think that was Erin Hayden. Then that's a perfectly legal contact. However, the difference is Sheridan didn't get the ball first. She got the player first, and they will call a foul on that just about every time. And now the Dragons set up for Tori Hall to take a free kick. No, let's make that Reese Chaffin. A little trickery going on as Becky Kennedy comes out of there for the Lady Dragons. Tori Hall with a kick. Tries to get it out there. Maddie McKee with a diving effort. Lets it go out of bounds for the goal kick. Panthers will try to switch the field here and get the ball up the other way. That's going to bounce out. It'll be a throw in for Fairland. Oh, whoa. Another penalty there. Against the Panthers. Hall with the free kick. Collins clears it. Slides out of bounds. Dragons will have another throw in. This second half starting off in Fairland's favor. The ball's been down there into the field pretty much the whole second half. Just 5 minutes in or so. Well, not even quite that. It's only 4 minutes into the second half. That was Lexi Hall running in. Thought it bounced off of her forearm, but I can't see that far. And Maddie McKee with a nice save. Lexi just about was able to punch that in the goal, but Maddie comes out, makes a nice play, and tries to send it the other direction. Nice play there by number 3. That's Erin Hayden playing aggressive defense, even though she's an offensive player. Still keeping the midfield of the Lady Panthers honest, keeping that pressure on. Panthers keep trying to advance it. If you can't advance it up the field, the least you can do is kick it out of bounds, let your defense set back up, and that's the strategy they've been playing here. We got a whistle. Okay. That's Reese Chaffin. She kind of nudged up there about 8 yards too far for the referee's liking, so they moved her back and let her throw it in. It's kind of the throw-ins are, as long as it's acceptable with the referee and you're generally close to where the ball went out, that's pretty much the way that works. But if you get it, 8-10 yards ahead, they usually will bring you back if you're paying attention. So there the ball goes up to Alexis Kearns. She can't settle it. Bringing it back is Carson Bailey for, oh goodness. See, now that was one where Sheridan Collins actually hit the ball and then hit the player, so there was no foul called in that one, even though there was a big contact. By hitting that ball, you're allowed to, even though sometimes it's pretty rough, that is a legal play. And you're coming, both players coming straight at it. You can't go run into the back of a player and hit the ball. You can't run through somebody to hit a ball. But if it's a free ball like that, you hit the ball first and then they hit you and they fall down. That's a legal play. But if you don't hit the ball and knock them down, that's a penalty. And sometimes even a yellow card. So you have to evaluate that. And there it is. Alexis Kearns bringing it back around. This time Jenna Taylor there in deep midfield tries to throw a nice through ball. It's going to be just a little too much on this turf. That ball on a grass field probably slows up and doesn't fly out of bounds before somebody can get to it. But here on the turf in Chesapeake, with the dew falling, gets a little wet, gets a little slicker, gets a little faster as the night falls. Chafin again with the throw-in. Fairland with 2 or 3 throw-ins right there in a row, trying to move the ball down the field. Nina Miller flying in, trying to make something happen. And there's Miller again, hitting a free pass. Collins tries to put it over to Hall, over to Lexi Hall. Lexi Hall with the right foot off the edge of the goal. Nice shot, just a little bit out with the nice pass from her sister, Tori. I have a feeling that those two will team up to score a few goals here in the next year or two, as Tori is a junior, Lexi a freshman. All right, we got a substitution coming in for Chesapeake. That is number 20. It's Abigail Bond stepping in for the Panthers. I don't think Fairland had a substitute there. I didn't see one. Timeout. Timeout. Collins with the yellow card there on that foul. 2 yellow cards. If you get 2 yellow cards for that, you'll get a red card and have to sit out a game. So Sheridan's going to come over and sit on the bench for the rest a little bit. Then it'll be a free kick for the Lady Dragons. From about the 39. Okay, start it back. There we go. And we're about 30 minutes to go here in this game. Ooh, that left foot is put in there by Tori Hall, just a little bit over the goal box. All right, Panthers get the ball on the other side of the field, other side of the 50-yard line anyway. We'll have a throw in at the 40-yard line, about 50 yards from their goal. Taylor with the ball, switches the field. Abigail Bond chases it, and again, the turf just a little too fast. It's going to be a Fairland throw in. Lexi Hall is able to capture it, but it bounces out of bounds. And here comes Becky Kennedy from the back line, trying to make a run up the line. She's still running. Becky trying to make something happen from the defensive end. Thwarted by the defense of the Lady Dragons, and Kylie Johnson just punches it up, and Olivia Hastings has to step out of the goal for the first time here in the second half. Makes a nice punt out the midfield, and that's Kelsey Hegemeyer in there for the Lady Panthers. Knocked out nicely by Emily Browning. Back across the field, and then here we go. By the time I look up a girl's name, the ball's going a different direction, so it's hard to keep track, but I'm doing the best I can. And now Sheridan Collins will step back in for the Lady Panthers. Taking a break. Checking out that's Natalie Hagemeyer, freshman. Natalie's fast. Natalie and Kelsey both track athletes. So enjoying soccer here in the fall. Track in the spring. All right, we've got another throw in. A lot of throw ins here tonight. Again, the field's a little narrow because it is it's a football field. It's kind of a soccer field that normally is a football field. So it's just a little more narrow than what you see on in international soccer. A few yards, so you see a little more throw-ins. You don't have quite the width to work with, and add the turf in and the fast surface of the turf. And you see a lot of balls go in and out of bounds. So. And in soccer, the referee doesn't have to touch it. You'll see these kids and some of the dads out there and parents tossing a ball to them. It doesn't have to be the same ball or anything, as long as the balls have passed inspection. Usually there's about six or seven balls a game. It keeps the pace of play moving along, as opposed to basketball where you got to wait for the referee hands you the ball. In the NBA, you see them kind of tossing it to them a little bit. You don't stand there and slow everything down. So, because the Panthers have a little pressure going here, and put Sheridan Collins back on the front, and she's up there, and here comes. Can't tell who that was. Was that number 12 for Chesapeake? I think that was Olivia Kearns up there, putting pressure on the defense of the Lady Dragons, and the Panthers making some noise here on their end of the field. Tori Hall gets the throw in as trying to switch the fields. Becky Kennedy with the pokes the ball away, and they're playing a little kickball back and forth right now. Kenzie Johnson. Hagemeyer with the ball. That's Natalie. Okay, that's going to be a foul against Fairland. Chesapeake kick. Referees are getting tired too. Sometimes that arm comes up the wrong way. I thought that's the way it should go, but that's the referees, this is their second game tonight, so they've been out here for 40 minutes, 40, 80, 120. They've been out here well over 2 hours actually refereeing, so we got timeout. We got a player injured here. Who is that? Is that Lexi? Oh, that's Tori Hall. Down. We're going to have a substitute come in. Lexi Hall stepping out too. Checking in for the Lady Dragons is number 14. That's Gracie Allen, and I didn't see who the other girl was. I think it was number 4. I think that was Doodle Kazee. And we're going to have a free kick. Kylie Johnson for Chesapeake will kick that ball from the 45-yard line. Tries to kick it in, and the ball's to the zone. There's Jenna Taylor in the middle trying to wheel around and bust it. It's going to go to the corner. Can Alexis Kearns get to it? No. It's still going to be a throw in because the ball was deflected off of the Lady Dragon. And so now let's see if the Lady Panthers can put some pressure on. Ball kicked up in the air. That's a dangerous ball there. A lot can happen there. Weird. Jenna Taylor with the left foot. Turned around the back. I can't tell who that was for Fairland that just turned around and sacrificed their body and hit him in the head. It was number 12. It was Carson Bailey with a big save there. Just took it, and I don't know. We got a whistle blowing, and that's going to be a penalty on Chesapeake, which means Fairland will get a free kick from about the 10-yard line, which is really 20 yards from the goal. So it's the 20-yard line. It's the 10-yard line on your screen as you're watching. We've got a substitute. Checking back in is number 2 for Chesapeake. That's Emily Johnson. So now we've got Kylie Johnson, Kinsey Johnson, and Emily Johnson all on the field for Chesapeake. 3 Johnsons out there, 2 sisters. Kinsey and Kylie are the sisters there on the back row. As I was saying there at the beginning of the game, at Fairland you got the Hall sisters, Tori and Lexi. But on Chesapeake you got 3 sets of sisters. You got Natalie and Kelsey Hegemeyer. You've got Kinsey and Kylie Johnson, who are sisters. And then you have Alexis and Olivia Kern. So 3 sets of sisters on Chesapeake, 1 on Fairland. And anyway, a lot of sisters out here playing soccer tonight between Chesapeake and Fairland as we're bouncing that ball back and forth. On the field right now, you've got Kern sisters, Olivia and Alexis. I think the Hegemeyers, both of them are out there. And then you have Johnson's and Tori Hall's sitting out for a few minutes. Looks like she need a break. And then that ball, Kinsey Johnson kicks it, bounces off number 14. That's Gracie Allen. Yeah, Chesapeake throw in. And Chesapeake again threatening. Getting the ball down in there, going to have a throw in. They can get it centered in front of the goal here. This is one of those dangerous little bouncing balls that something weird can happen, but it's cleared out, sort of. Alexis Kearns bringing it down the other side of the field for the Peak. Good defense there by number 14, Gracie Allen. She gets it and clears it out, but Natalie Hegemeyer puts it back in. There's Kelsey, that's Natalie's sister. That ball is off the foot, and that's going to go out of bounds, and that's going to be a corner kick for Chesapeake. A lot of things can happen on a corner kick. I don't know if this is Chesapeake's first or second corner kick of the game. I think it's the first of this half. Yeah, haven't been doing. I'm not a very good statistician. I'm just trying to watch and keep track of who all's got a hold of the ball. So, all right, it's going to be Jenna Taylor over there kicking that corner kick, and it's out. I don't know who's kicking it. It's bouncing around somewhere. It's bouncing loose, and then it's gone, and it's in. Oh, it didn't go all the way across the goal. Oh, my goodness. It hit the inside of the right pole. Olivia Hastings there was right on it. The ball has to go all the way across the goal line. Doesn't have to touch the goal line. It's opposite of football. Football, if it crosses the plane of actually hitting the line, it is a touchdown. In soccer, the plane is the outside of the line. So the ball has to go all the way across the end line for it to be a goal. That ball clearly hit the inside of the post. But a heads-up play by the goalie for Fairland, Olivia Hastings. Yeah, we don't have instant replay. Maybe Doug can put that out there and we can see. I'm sure the referees will love that. But anyway, that was called a play on because apparently it didn't go all the way across. The best way to tell is if that ball hits the back of the net. That's what you got to do there. I have no idea who kicked it. Maybe Doug got a good shot of that, and we can see what happened. I don't know. I can kind of barely see him through the windows now because of the reflections and the lights here in the press box. But Chesapeake, this field, this is the 5th year for the Phil Davis Field here at Chesapeake, and the track, the Dave Smith and the Bob Harris track. And the 5th season that there's been soccer and football played here in the fall. And, one of the things that a lot of people don't realize is even during the daytime, the middle school kids spend a lot of recess time out here on this field, regardless of, if it's rain, there's no mud on a field like this. And, before the soccer game started, the boys soccer, you had the football team out here practicing, and literally minutes after the football team finishes practicing, you got a soccer game going. And, it's going to be 9:30 or so before we finish here tonight. And, it's just been a really well-used, often used facility, and it's held up really well. I'd like to give a lot of credit to the folks here at Chesapeake for taking good care of this facility. A lot of kids have used it, and beautiful Tuesday night here, and a lot of people are having fun. I don't know what our number here is. There's several. I don't know. There's 300 or 400 people here, maybe. Yeah, probably more than that. I don't know. It's a preacher count. I'm not a preacher, but we will count it that way. We'll call it 500. Not 1,000. Definitely not 1,000, but definitely more than 150. But anyway, it's been a good time. We've had these kids out here playing hard. Always as a Chesapeake Fairland game. Again, doesn't matter what you're playing. It's going to be played hard and with a lot of gusto. A lot of these kids know each other and have known each other. And I'm sure there's a cousin or two playing against each other here. We go to church together and whatnot. But anyway, it's been a lot of fun. We don't have a score yet. It's 0-0. Boys game finished 1-0 Fairland. 1 goal scored there. I have a feeling that 1 goal is going to make the difference in this game tonight. But stranger things have happened, so we'll see what happens. We'll see who breaks through first. Fairland had been pressing really well there in the first half. Came close to scoring a couple of goals. Actually, I would have to say that Chesapeake has come the closest to scoring the goal with the ball hitting the inside of the post. Looked like it bounced on the line just a few minutes ago and then bounced up. That is actually a penalty on Fairland. Now, the reason why that is a penalty on Fairland is the Chesapeake player hit the ball. That is the key difference in that. Even though the Fairland player felt the brunt of that hit, because the Chesapeake player hit the ball, had control. The foul was on the green team. All right, so Taylor will try to kick that over to Johnson in the middle of the field. Back to Taylor. What Taylor does is she sends it back in the middle. That's a dangerous spot for the ball to be, and there's Johnson in there. Somebody's trying to set it up there. It looks like one of the Hagemeyer girls, and Taylor puts it back in again, and that is trouble. Oh, Sheridan Collins with a nice one-touch, trying to deflect it into the left side of the goal, but Olivia Hastings has really played a nice, both of these goalies really, Maddie McKee and then Olivia here in the last few minutes has really played some heads up, paying attention, goalkeeping out there. I mean, some things that would easily be, looks like a handball was called there. Kylie Johnson helping the referee out. Kicks it on down there. Back to, that's Lexi Hall with the ball. Lexi and Sheridan fighting for it, and out on Chesapeake, it'll be Fairland ball. We got about 15 minutes, a little less than 15 minutes to go. You are watching Armstrong Sports, girls high school varsity soccer. The Fairland Lady Dragons in green and white are playing here in Chesapeake, Ohio against the purple and white Chesapeake Lady Panthers. Longtime rivalry between Fairland and Chesapeake. These two programs have had soccer for just a few years, probably the 5th year that Fairland's had girls soccer, or 4th year. We've got a substitute coming in. Who is that? That's Kenzie Johnson stepping in for Sheridan Collins. Kylie Johnson with the header. The ball's back in play. But anyway, these two schools, I mean, if you've ever been to Fairland or Chesapeake or known somebody from Fairland and Chesapeake, you know how important these two games are, or a game between these two schools is. And always fun. Girls starting to get a little tired now. You're starting to see a little more fouling. Referee's trying to keep control of the game, and you got a tight match at 0-0. One little mistake. Usually that's what a game like this will boil down to, is which team makes a mistake and which team's able to capitalize on it. Chesapeake almost had a goal about 10 minutes ago. I'm not sure what the time on the clock was, and ball bounced off the edge, and Fairland's pressured and had a few good chances, but we'll see what happens here. We got 13 minutes to play. One little bounce of the ball to the other. Alexis Kearns gets down the edge, showing some nice speed. That ball is going to be a corner kick. So Alexis gets down, touches it, and taps it off the feet of number 12. That's Carson Bailey hustling down there with Alexis. It'll lead to a Chesapeake corner kick. And the Lady Panthers stick everybody down there in the goal. Only Becky Kennedy standing out back, and that ball is cleared by the Dragons. I think that was number 19. That was Emily Browning with a nice clearance there. That'll be a Chesapeake throw in. Kelsey Hegemeyer over to take the throw in for the Lady Panthers. That ball is going to be out. Alexis throwing the ball in. She lost her ponytail there. Oh, that's a dangerous throw in. Just kind of bounced through. And now here's where the real danger is in a game like this, where everybody's kind of tired, is the counterattack. Because you see there, Chesapeake had everybody down on one end of the field except for a couple of defenders, and Fairland got the ball back out to the other side of the field quickly. Although Becky Kennedy's playing some very nice defense there to stop Tori Hall and send the ball. It's probably going to go out of bounds. Nope, out of bounds, and it'll be a Fairland throw in. But that's where, in a game like this, everybody's getting tired. They've played for well over an hour, running back and forth, giving all they can, and they get a chance to score a goal if the team can stop them and then send the ball the other direction quickly. A lot of times that can lead to a counterattack goal in a game like this. We got about 10 minutes to go. Well, 11 minutes to go now. So you just never know. I've seen it happen. I've seen, just kind of go back and forth, and then nobody's scoring a game like this. But a lot of times that counterattack is where you'll see a goal. So we'll see. Oh, goodness. That was a fall. Got two players down for different reasons, I think. You see, we got, I believe that's player down. Somebody needs to kick that ball out of bounds. There it goes. Okay. Timeout. Stop the clock, please. I think that's Becky Kennedy who's down. I'm not sure what. Oh, gosh, what the heck? What are they doing? I don't think you're supposed to do that. All right, the trainer is out there now. We'll see what's going on. I saw another player down. I think it was Fairland's player. I think she got up. Was that was Nina? Nina Miller took a hard fall there as well. I don't think they were related though. I think it was two different collisions. Again, the girls have been playing for 70 minutes, running all over the field. It's in the low 70s, so it's warm but not hot. But they've expended a lot of energy and starting to get tired. You're starting to see those steps get a little. The knees don't go quite as high in the air when they're running, and can easily get your feet crossed and go down hard or run into somebody or whatever. It looks like Becky's up and moving around. I'm not sure what she injured, if it was took a elbow to the stomach, or it seems like her legs are okay. Her arms are okay. She looks like she's a little woozy in the head, so I don't know if she had a blow to the head or midsection or something. I don't know. But anyway, she's a tough player. Very tough player. She's a 4-year starter here at Chesapeake, and I coached Becky a long time ago. Really wasn't that long ago when she was a kid, and one of the captains here. So just a great kid here at Chesapeake. So we're glad to see her up and moving around, and hopefully she'll be back in. Chance to play here today. She's played the whole game. Nina Miller out there, and Jenna Taylor and Nina going at it. Nina's a freshman. for the Dragons. Played really tough. Dragons have a couple of freshmen out there. Chesapeake has one freshman. A lot of sophomores, a lot of seniors. A couple of juniors, 3 or 4 juniors, looks like. That's a dangerous ball. That was a nice through ball by Nina Miller over to Tori Hall. Kylie Johnson chasing it down. Kylie with some speed back there in the back. She's able to mess that plan up. Lexi Hall chasing Natalie Hegemeyer, and the ball goes out of bounds. It'll be a Fairland throw-in, I think. As number 21 has checked in the game. That's Hannah Schrout for Fairland. We'll go with the throw-in. Throws it into Miller. Miller puts it in. That's a dangerous ball there. Oh, that's dangerous. Let's see what happens. Here comes Tori Hall. She kicks it up, and it's over the crossbar, under the football crossbar. Just less than a foot from scoring. And again, that's probably the closest that Fairland's actually come to putting the ball in the back of the net. Fairland and Chesapeake both have been very close to putting some points on the board, but we're under 9 minutes to go now, and that will result in a goal kick. It's going to be a Chesapeake throw-in. I believe it deflected off of a Fairland player. Kylie Johnson with the ball, looking to throw it in. Throwing it in there, bouncing around off a Fairland player, and there'll be another Chesapeake throw-in. Again, the score is 0-0. You're watching Armstrong Sports Girls High School Soccer, Fairland Chesapeake. This is Jason Stevens watching along with you here, talking about this game, trying to keep you informed. I believe he called a penalty. The referee didn't see what happened there, but there's a penalty, and Fairland will get a free kick. That's number 19. That's Emily Browning kicking that left-footed, and Kylie Johnson from Chesapeake gets it, and there's Hannah Schrout trying to take it away from Kylie, and back to Alexis Kearns. Again, Alexis trying to move that ball bouncing around here in the middle of the field. Neither team was real clear possession, maybe for a few seconds, but now Chesapeake seems to have it. But boy, that ball is fast. That ball it just doesn't slow down. I think it's gotten a little faster. I don't know if the floor or the field's gotten wetter or whatever, or a little damp, and it's kind of sliding along. We got a couple of subs coming in for Fairland. That is number 10. That's Reese Chafin checking back into the game, and I believe number 9. See that right? Is that Lexi Hall back in? No, that's a different number. I can't see that. Is that number? I can't tell who that is over there. Anybody see what number that is? It says number 3, I think. I don't have number 3 on there. Oh, yeah, I do. That's Erin Hayden. My bad. All right, either way, Lexi Hall has the ball. Tori Hall, I mean. Jenna Taylor kicking it back out. Chesapeake defense will set up. We have 6 minutes and 40 seconds to go here in this contest. No score. Both teams have had opportunities, just missed by inches. Still, nobody has got an actual goal, but I have a feeling somebody's going to score here. This is the trouble here as Lexi Hall comes in, gets the angle. Maddie McKee cuts it down, and what a nice save. Maddie in the right place at the right time. Man, that was a nice effort by Lexi Hall, but Maddie McKee anticipated where she would go with that, cut that short, and was able to make the great save there. Dragons seem to have a little momentum here in the last 30 seconds to a minute and a half or so, and the Panthers had put some pressure on earlier in the second half, but apparently here lately, and as soon as I say that, Chesapeake takes the ball across the field. Hagemeyer and Chafin chasing for it. Over to Miller. Miller kicks it back to the middle. That's that's Erin Hayden chasing the ball down, and she's fouled just outside the box. Be about at the 20 yards out. Tori Hall well within her range. This is a big kick off of a Chesapeake player's head. Lexi Hall kicks it way up in the air. That's still in play. Nina Miller trying to get Maddie McKee. We got a whistle blown, and that's going to be a penalty on Fairland, so there'll be a free kick. He's going to call a free kick for interference with the goalie, I guess. So, yes, so Maddie will not be able to punt it. She's going to have to kick it, and we're at the 5-minute mark. And this is essentially a goal kick from the same, about the 6-yard line. Either team trying to score here with 5 minutes to go. Fairland putting some pressure on here in the last couple of minutes. Still nothing on the scoreboard. Is starting to see the girls get a little tired, and I see a couple of subs here. We got checking back in. Good to see Rebecca Canaday, Becky, checking in for Chesapeake. In 17, that's a Riley Swan checking in for the Lady Panthers. Leah Moss taking a break, and also that's Natalie Hagemeyer taking a break as well. I don't know where her ball is. Okay. Get a goal kick. Maddie McKee kicks it up. Nice goal kick. Kicks it out there. I can't tell. Is that Olivia Kearns, I think. And that ball is kicked out by Fairland. Gosh, Olivia's fast. She was running up there like a bolt of lightning running through there. All right, we're under 4 minutes now. Panthers trying to come down here and see. I still think that a counterattack by either one of these teams is what's going to be the difference in this game if there's somebody going to score. And we could see a 0-0 tie. I don't know. It's going to be exciting either way within the last 3.5 minutes. Lindsey Johnson with a nice been there. Oh. Ball's out on Fairland. Will be a Chesapeake throw in, I think. We got timeout on the field. I don't know what happened. Somebody hurt? I'm going to guess an injured player or some sort of issue there with Maddie Arthur. Maddie's going to step out and have a substitute check in. I can't tell the number yet. We'll wait till this young lady turns around. I can see her number. That's number 4. That is going to be Doodle Kazee checking back in for Fairland on the back line. That ball's bouncing around. I don't know who touched it last. Chespeake threw it in. So Fairland let it go out, and they will have a goal kick. 3 minutes to go. No score, Fairland Chesapeake. Sheridan Collins checking back in on the back line for the Lady Panthers. Ooh, off the corner, that'll be a goal kick. Now, if that thing would have bounced the other way, I've never seen one hit the pole. I've never seen it hit the flag like that. Would have been a throw in if it went out the side. So, goal kick again for Fairland. Alexis Kearns. Ball stays in. Hagemeyer kicking it in. Oh, and it goes across the touchline there. All right, we're at the 2-minute mark now. Still 0-0 is your score. 2 minutes to go. Throw in by the peak. Ball's going to go out. Fairland taps it out. Just it's a little too close to the goal to be too casual with it. 1.5 minutes to go. Chesapeake throw in. All over to Taylor. Alexis Kearns. Carson Bailey kicks it out again, and I think we're going to have a corner. No, we're going to have a throw in. Taylor tries to throw it in, but it goes off the side of her foot, and that's going to be a goal kick with about 1 minute left to go. 1:10. Probably be 1 minute left by the time they actually kick the goal kick. Lady Dragons still trying to win this game. Sierra Brown with the goal kick. Got a little penalty calling. Oh, wow. Big penalty right here. We got 1 minute left to go. Or under 1 minute to go. That's going to be a free kick for the Lady Panthers. I'm not sure where the referee's going to ask him to set up. Jenna setting the ball up. Referee was not real. He's waiting, wanting the ball to be. Okay, we're right there on the 20-yard line. That is 30 yards from the goal. Jenna Taylor can kick that far. We'll see if she kicks it in. And she's trying to straight it, kick it in. Broken up by Julia White in the back line. Becky Kennedy over on the edge. Tori Hall. Got 15 seconds, 13 seconds. And that's going to be your final score. You're going to watch a great game. Ends in a 0-0 tie. Both teams played really well. Again, you've been watching Armstrong Sports High School Girls Soccer. My name is Jason Stevens. I hope you've enjoyed this game between the Chesapeake Lady Panthers and the Lady Dragons from Fairland. Thank you and have a good evening.